The atmosphere at Wales is absolutely fantastic, and a lot of the lead-up games to the Wales Test match was based on the fact that a lot of the UK rugby people were saying, you might have beaten us, but wait till you get to Wales. Wait till you play Wales at Cardiff Arms Park.
So there's a big build-up, and I think we'd lost to Clonechley earlier in the week, and the Welsh were waiting for us.
Alan, you know, had a lot of information on the Welsh team. Like Eddie Butler, number 8, hasn't played for 3 weeks. So let's go the blind.
Good ball here. Parr Jones. Straight through. Gould. Grigg. Lawton. Tommy Lawton has scored for Australia.
Clearly, Tommy Lawton, the great seagull, was sort of hanging inside, and the pass came back to him, a beautiful Hail Mary, and Tommy got his try at Cardiff Arms Park.
Tom's enthusiasm after that try, I mean, if you look at the vision, you can see I come in and I'm trying to pour water over him, really, because, you know, he's such an emotional player, and his grandfather had this great reputation, and Cardiff was a big part of Tommy Senior's thing, and Tom Lawton, our Tom Lawton, was aware of that history.
My grandfather played against Wales in 1927 and had a great victory there, so there's a lot of history for me in that game.
So to score a try, he was just, you know, his eyes were rolling. And so it was a matter of just trying to douse it a bit, but it was what the team needed in terms of saying, cool, we're here and on top of this.
The thing I still admire about the old days was the handling skills and the pass and back-up skills that the players had. So, and you coach young kids, and that's what you want them to do. We did that against Wales, and I think that first 40 minutes against Wales in '84 was probably about as good as it gets for Wallabies, you know, running rugby at those times.
Parr Jones, overlap. Campese. One man in front, quiet. Campese. Point of it. Line up. Try.
It was a really good game for us. We played very strongly. Once again, scored some great tries, but it's all about forwards and backs, mixing, using the ball, you know, not dying with the ball, and getting good support.
I think what happened was, it was just one of the, we just did to practice the moves, and they worked. You know, everyone knew their role. And I think I stepped inside, passed to Poito. And Poito, I could probably say that he wasn't the world's greatest passer back then, but actually got the ball and just passed it straight to Michael Lyon under the post. You know, it was one of those moments where I think the whole team was in shock. Poito actually passed the ball that well.
I was always criticised my hands. It was the best pass ever to Michael Lyon to put him under the post, and the players were in shock at the pass getting put away.
22 minutes gone in the second half. Australia leading 13-3.
I remember a reporter asking me once, you know, what would you like to do in that game against Wales? And I said, I'd love to score a try, but I'd really love to score a pushover try.
Can Wales hold on? Now they go for the pushover. Try! The Welsh scrum has been pushed over the goal line, and the try has gone to Steve Tyneman.
We started to show our forward dominance. You know, the guys were really firing. Topo, you know, Steve Tyneman, all the guys were just, you know, playing at 100%.
They had very aggressive, highly skilled front row. Their whole 1 to 8 was built on scrummaging. We had a good heavy pack, which is what you need. You need a good mass. But the technique was something that we were developing all the time, and I think we were lucky on that tour that we had the time to be able to hone our technique to be able to compete with those guys at that level. So by the time we got to Wales, we were pretty much at the top of our game.
Yeah, in my career of 25 Test matches, I think I had 5 or 6 halfbacks. Yeah, they all suffered because they were, you know, we were always being beaten up by oppositions, but it was great to be the reverse for a change that, you know, Australian rugby up front were actually dominating the game, and it made life so much easier for the 3 quarters.
Now it's Titley away to Lewis. He's hardly seen the ball, this man. This is Perkins. Ella! Mark Ella! What a try! And what an end to the Test match! He scored a try in every Test on tour! And what an ending for Australia!
Mark's great skills, I mean, he has many skills, but the one that, on top of the physical ones, were just his instinct and his nose for the game, and knowing where to be at a particular time. You know, I wouldn't know the stats to it, but I doubt that he would have ever gone for an intercept and missed it. You know, he only would go when it was on, and he just read the game well, and he was there, and Eddie Butler was saying, you know, it was a Hail Mary job, but, you know, prayers got said for us.
26 points to 9. What a a day for Australia, one of the great moments in Australia's sporting history. Williams sets up. Offside play Scotland. Bill Cuthbertson coming around on the wrong side. And who's going to come up the goal? Looks like Michael Lynham.
The decision was made on the morning of the match that I was going to kick against Scotland after Roger had kicked well the week before against Wales. So there was a lot of pressure there.
Beautiful kick.
It's a great way to start that. A lot of confidence from Michael Lynham.
It was, Australia's biggest ever rugby game up until that point, and to do my job as a goal kicker on that day was nice, particularly after the disappointments in the first couple of games.
Ella with another chance. Gould almost got, oh yes, Slack. Campese. He's over.
I was proud of it because about the only thing I had to do with any of the tries we had in the whole 4 weeks or 6, however long it was.
Slacky got him through a 10-metre pass, but he'd actually been practising after one of the games in the rain. So he knew that, we're going to try and do some of these moves, but he actually tried to improve himself to do that. And it worked fine.
Ella. Gould. Slack. Jones knocked it back.
No, I was rooming with Roger Gould. Roger just said, stick with me and I'll make sure you score that try.
Jones knocked it back. Australia have it. Mark Ella. Gould. Overlap for Campese. Mark Ella! He's done it! A try in every test match! The first time in history!
I do remember throwing the ball in the air and laughing my head off. I'd played 21 test matches, 1 test try, the last four in a row. I was very happy.
I think there was genuine excitement at the time. It hit us, but then you've got to get on with the job. You've got to face the next ball.
Mark Ella! The toast of Australia! He can't believe it. Jones. Another one.
They caught him napping there on a great try.
You've got to do something here, Scotland. Back it goes to Gould. The Australians could run here. Campese. Too many Scottish defenders, but he's found open space. This is Robertson. A lovely stepper. Over halfway. Great play by Robertson. Milnes there. Peter Grigg intercepts. Mark Ella. Off they go.
I got it through to Steve Tyneman, and Bird went. I just followed it inside. We're always taught to pass and support.
Campese. Tyneman. Campese. Can he get there? Beattie chasing. They won't catch him. Another Australian try. A record score against Scotland.
I think that we trained so hard and there was such great camaraderie within that whole squad. There was a lot more at stake than just a game. It was just like, it was history, but it was also what we'd sort of worked for. And players just weren't going to let that go.
I guess I knew what was happening. That Australia had finally, after numerous attempts, won a Grand Slam, and that I'd actually scored a try in each of those Grand Slam games, and it was just a very memorable occasion.
Time must be almost up on the clock. There's the Grand Slam for Australia. It's Australia's record-winning margin over Scotland too. Australia has done it. You beauty.
Ladies and gentlemen, the coach of the Grand Slam Wallabies, Mr. Alan Jones.
Thank you, Tony. I'll tell you what, if I could make one preliminary observation on behalf of the team, it is quite, in every sense of the word, overwhelming. When we embarked on all of this all those years ago, we never imagined in the first instance that although we sought the success that came, we, I suppose, never imagined what exactly the nature of that success was, and I guess we never imagined we'd be here 30 years later. But on behalf of Australian rugby, can I just say to the players who really are still youngsters to me. I can't believe we're here together, but I do want them to go away from today understanding that you are an extraordinary part of Australian sporting history, not rugby history. And one of the legacies you leave is that wherever people talk about rugby, and as Gordon Bray beautifully said, and I thank him for that wonderful tribute, wherever people talk about rugby, wherever people evaluate Australian teams, there will be a proud spot in the history of Australian sport for the 8th Wallabies. And that, I think, is something that can't be denied or taken away. So thank you for sharing it with us. We're very, very grateful.